Hello, great ones. Welcome to the Live and Be Great podcast. I'm your host, Latanya Sampson McDonald. I am a life coach and a registered marriage and family therapist associate. And this podcast was created to motivate, educate, and inspire all to live and be great. On this episode, this is an episode I can do in my sleep. It's the topic I could do in my sleep. Okay. I want to talk about becoming a better friend, but we're gonna do a little twist on it, and we're gonna talk about the different zodiac signs, what they can do to be better friends. Not just friends, but I think it can also work in relationships as well. But romantic relationships as well. So let's get started. I wanted to do this topic because I feel like people don't know how to be friends anymore. And some characteristics are based off of the times because we are social media friends these days. And others can be personality traits. And I want you to keep in mind that when I do this, there's a possibility that you may have overcome this behavior. You may have worked on it. Also, if you look at your full zodiac chart, if you know nothing about zodiac charts, you must know that we all are a mixture of different signs that represent different parts of who we are. And to get a full description on what your chart says about you and the different signs that you have, go to astro.com, any astrology website. You should be able to get a free birth chart. Okay? Then you can also download the CoStar app or the Pattern app. And they give you like a brief synopsis, but you can also say, if you look on your chart and you see that you have a moon in Aquarius, right? Type in YouTube, moon in Aquarius, and you'll get a description. Multiple people will have videos on what that actually means. Okay? So you might have some of these traits in your personality and how you are in friendships and in relationships. So it's good to find out if you have any of these other placements, which you will, but what type of placements you have in your chart. Okay? So on with it. Let's start with Aries. Okay, Aries. My experience with Aries in friendships are you can be a tad bit selfish. Now, listen. Selfishness is good in certain circumstances. But oftentimes you can show up to certain spaces and it could be for someone else. And you make it about yourself. Okay? Realize when you may be talking too much about yourself or you appear to be uninterested in the person you came to support, right? It's just something that you may not be doing intentionally, but Aries, you do tend to do that to make everything about you and to be a better friend. I need you to work on that. I need you to even support people even in things that you're not interested in. If you're their friend and they invited you, show up. Okay? If you can't make it, say you can't make it. Don't just not show up. And be willing to apologize. You might have to apologize more than once. Okay? You might have to. So Aries, to be a better friend and to be better in overall all the relationships that you have. Like, hear the person out, understand what their needs are, and do for other people what you would want done for you. Not just for family, but for friendships too. Not just for yourself, or if you're interested, right? For others too. Because sometimes people just need you to show up to just support, regardless of whether you like what they're doing or you can do what they do or whatever the case may be. To be a better friend, show up. Okay? Tauruses, I think I could possibly say the same for y'all. Tauruses, I did not want to admit it, but y'all can be flaky. Okay? And I think maybe because y'all have so many friends, it's difficult to keep up and it's difficult to find that space to recharge yourself. Most Tauruses I know, they wouldn't let you know, and they may be unaware of this, but they are homebodies. When they're in their hometown, if they're not traveling, they love to travel, but majority of the time they are homebodies. So you may have an event, or you may set up a date, or, a meetup or something, and if their day went a tad bit too long, they're not going to show up. Okay? So Tauruses, I'm not saying that you can't say no to invites, right? You can, but actually say no, right? Because y'all have the tendency to just ghost and not say nothing. But also, if it's something that's very, very important, and you know that without a shadow of a doubt, that person would do the same for you, show up and be present. Show up and be present for that person. Because it matters, like, regardless. And I know you have the tendency to overcommit yourself as well to not only things that you want to do, but you tend to make certain promises as well. But show up, or say that you can, or do your best to make up. And if you see that you keep saying no to this person, like 2-3 times in a row, you're not being a good friend, Taurus. Okay? Sometimes you do need to just go ahead and make the sacrifice, especially if that person really, really wants you there. You got to show up for your friends, you as well. Also, your stubbornness, okay? It's okay to change. It's okay to allow your friends to provide that space for themselves to switch it up. Like, just because you may not agree with their lifestyle, or you may not agree with the path that they've chosen for themselves because they've changed, just because you're not comfortable with change doesn't mean other people don't need to, or even they may need you to sometimes. You don't have to stick with the negativity. You don't have to stay with the stubbornness that you have when it comes to your personality traits. It can really, 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 really be a hindrance in your friendships, in your relationships. So try your best to understand the other person's point of view, why they may need to say, okay, well, you usually show up late to my events, or you usually don't come to this particular event, but I really, really need your support. Show up. Okay? Next we have the Geminis. I don't know what's going on with these first 3 signs, but y'all could be flaky too as well. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure it out, but Geminis, for some reason, if it ain't your mama begging you to come and be there for them, you don't show up either. Or if your mom doesn't like the person or the event, or doesn't agree with whatever the case may be, if you told your mom about something, you don't show up. But also, when y'all don't show up, I need y'all to say that you can't make it, Okay, because you're very effective when it comes to communication. And something that I've also seen, you are quick to make it the other person's fault. Why you didn't show up, or get mad at them when they're offended that you didn't show up. Okay? That's a problem in a friendship. It is. It really, really is. Also, you guys are very, very good at mediating, right? So I know you may not feel like it at times, which you have a right to say, no, this particular situation, I don't. But when you clearly, like, say if you have two friends in your circle that aren't getting along, but you clearly see what the disconnect is, go ahead and hash it out for them. Set up a meeting. You. I trust you, Gemini, to go ahead and do that for your friendships. Don't just sit back and pick a side and do all of that, especially when, hey, you may agree more with one person than you do the other. But if you can see where the disconnect is, because it's going to come to you naturally before it comes to anyone else. Also, if you have Gemini in any placements, it may come to you very quickly. But go ahead and be that mediator for your friends. But yeah, Gemini, you can also be very, very critical and judgmental friend. Very, 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 very much so. And that's not cool. Like, to be so critical, so judgmental, and it's very, very frustrating. And I know you judgmental and critical because you put that onto yourself, but you shouldn't put that on anybody else. And you have to work on that. You have to do some inner work to work on why you're so hard on yourself. Okay? But also, if you're going to have friendships, you got to show up for somebody else than just your mama. Now, Geminis, please, like, and be, if no one else is, be a person of your word. If you say you're going to be there, be there. If you cannot show up, show up. I think that's a problem with a lot of friends. And I do think that's also a societal thing. People think they've checked in on their friends when they see a post on Facebook. Don't, if you're Gemini and you're my friend, don't do that. Do not rely on social media, because oftentimes I'm not the one posting on social media, so you don't have a clue. And don't expect me to look at your social media and believe that that's fact and that's law, because that ain't the type of person that I am. But Geminis in general is not a word, but in general. And I know my Geminis are going to be like, that's not a word. In general, okay? Do not be so judgmental, be so critical on yourself, and then you'll be able to have grace for other people. My Geminis, my dear, dear Geminis, who are so effective at communicating their needs, please take the time to understand other people's needs and don't just try to pay them off. Okay? Don't be so self-serving, because you do come off as selfish when you expect other people to show up for you. And you're not, they don't know anything. Y'all also don't want people in your business. That's another thing. Y'all don't want people in your business. I think I know what that's about, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm not going to mention it. But you can be closed off when it comes to your own personal stuff with the people that are very open with you. Okay? That's not fair. That isn't fair. All right? So if you're that type of Gemini and you have that negative characteristic, it's okay to lean on other people. I know you love to be independent. I know you have this whole know-it-all sort of gift and curse that you carry. All right? But it's okay to not always be the one that has all the information or all the knowledge. It's okay to sit down and learn from people. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for support, but make sure you're returning that help and you're returning that support, because spirit must be paid. Okay, Gemini? Reciprocate. Reciprocate. Don't manipulate, Gemini. And you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's see. Who else? Who's next? We have the beloved nurturing Cancers. Cancers, listen, y'all. I know they say that you get along with all water signs if you're a water sign. Well, if your major sign is a water sign, but Cancers, for some reason, me and y'all will gel for a moment, but not for a lifetime. And part of that reason is because the majority of you don't know who you are. You have spent your life shifting and shaping and molding yourself into what someone else needs you to be at the time. And some of you are so good at it, you just you don't even think that you need to stop, right? Look at all the friends around you, and I promise they probably from different backgrounds, got different interests, okay? Do they know who you are? No, they don't, because 9 times out of 10, that Cancer has become what you needed them to be for the moment. They don't know who they are, okay? So Cancers, if you don't have children, go find yourself, okay? Separate, cut off the social media for like a month, okay? Or 2 or 3, however long you can, okay? Cut it off and then go someplace where nobody knows or nobody goes with you. Somewhere. I feel like y'all should take a sabbatical somewhere out of the country or out of your country and go and find who you are. Separate from the roles that you've been playing for years and years and years. And actually dive into finding your purpose and the person that you were brought here to be. Okay? You have a natural nurturing spirit. You have a natural intuitive spirit to know what people need at the time. But what do you need? Can you be clear on that? Have you done the work that you need to do to find yourself? If not, right, and you have seen yourself just shift and shape into whatever somebody needs you to be at the time, right, that makes you a liar. It does. Okay? That's for anybody with Cancer placements. My moon is in Cancer, okay? So you got to figure out who you need to be for yourself outside of all the people that you support. You do, okay? Another thing is spirit must be paid. So if you're shape-shifting to doing stuff for other people, right? You are depleting yourself, and then your spirit is going to look for payment in places where it should not. You're going to end up not being able to support the people who actually support you, okay? When it comes to money, because a lot of y'all Cancers got money trauma. Everybody has some sort of money trauma, but Cancers, y'all got your Cancer claw on that money, right? To where, hey, let's go out to eat. Oh, I don't have the money for that. Lying. Because you holding on to this number. All right, that can cause a rift in your friendships when they find out. All right, especially if you just bragged on this new job you got and this new check you got. You find yourself lying because you're trying to hold on to something and you lying to the wrong people, or you're not feeding yourself, or you're not feeding your children the right way, or getting them what they need because you have depleted yourself. Maybe you've overspent in a way, right, on other people just to keep face in the save face, but you haven't been able to pour back into yourself, into your family, into your loved ones. I hope I didn't confuse you. But that's not showing up as you makes you a fake friend. It just makes you a fake friend. It does. So it's subconscious. I don't know that that's what you're doing because you do it so naturally. You become what people need you to be. Like that's the nurturing, that's the maternal, whether you're a boy or a girl. But be real, be upfront even about your struggles, right? So people can give you grace in return. But you have to find yourself in order for that to happen. Okay? I'll be honest with you, I don't trust cancers. I just don't. Unless they've done the work, I don't. Because I don't know if you faking the front and then tomorrow somebody you think better than me, you done flipped up on me. And that's often happened with me and cancers. It has. So I can't, stop. Cut it out. All right? That's not being a good friend. It isn't. Okay? Next, we have Leos. Okay, Leos. I say this all the time, but if you are not, I'm holding my face while I'm saying this because I was raised by one. If you are not loyal to yourself, you cannot be loyal to anyone else. And friendships need loyalty. Okay? You gonna find yourself by yourself without any friends. You will even find yourself with a plethora of friends and still feeling like you have none because you're not taking care of yourself. Okay? Leos, back to the spirit must be paid situation. If you find yourself overextending yourself to people who don't deserve it, right? You get sick, you feel depleted, you feel drained. And then you're wondering why your close friends who actually support you and love you, why they're upset with you. Okay? Because you still focused on the people who are paying you dust. You're still trying to vie for their attention, for their approval, instead of approving yourself. And it's very hard for a Leo to do because many Leos that I know, y'all parents are emotionally unavailable and they're usually the first person to validate you. So without knowing that, subconsciously, you tend to look for that validation somewhere else. And we all do that, right? We all do that. But Leos especially will find themselves, and they have a lot of energy now. They do. They're forever 17, 16 years old. They're forever a teenager, Leos, okay? But with that energy, it has to be put in a place where it can be replenished. Very generous when it comes to your heart. But if you don't set certain standards and say, hey, this person is not treating me right. It's not for me to try to convince them to treat me right. It's for me to let them go. And to go love and show that loyalty to people who actually appreciate me. Why? Because I love and appreciate myself. That's the main thing with Leos. With me. That's it in a nutshell. I don't need to spend that much time because y'all all do the same thing. Also, leaving information out, okay, because you want to be independent and not letting people help you that want to help you. Okay? Yeah, do that. Leos, let your friends be your friends, and don't let everybody get that title of being your friend in your friendships. If they haven't earned it, if they haven't shown up for you like you've shown up for them, they are not your friend. And if you are loyal to them, you're not loyal to yourself. And then in return, you're not going to be loyal to the ones who are actually there for you. Okay? All right. Next, we have Virgo. Okay, I got best friends that are Virgos. All right. So, full transparency. And they know who they are. They listen to the podcast. They support me. Y'all do. But this plan situation, this plan, and I'm a planner too now. I don't like for people to interrupt my plans. I don't like people to just spring stuff on me when I didn't plan for it, because I get upset, right? And we have that in common because Virgos, Pisces are on the same axis, right? But just on opposite sides. And we have certain similarities, and that perfectionism and that planning is one of them. Okay, Virgo. So if you don't make it a point to check in on your friends, your close friends, at least weekly, right? No, you're not being a good friend. Okay? And I've let it slide. I've even done it. I got to blame it on my ADHD because I have full intention on calling somebody and then I just forget. But Virgos, I do need you to feel bad, okay? Just like I feel bad, I need you to feel bad about not checking in, going months without checking in on your friends, okay? It's not okay. It's not you being a good friend. It isn't. And there's a reason why oftentimes Virgos, y'all end up looking older than you actually are. Want to know why? Because that perfectionism to just work, and make everything, only paying attention to the things that you can control, only, right? Only like the things like your job, when you show up on time, and things that maybe even your household, those things, that's not being a good friend. Y'all run from emotions because that's part of the reason why you don't call your friends, because emotions make you uncomfortable. Okay, cut it out. All right, cut it out. And I can see Virgos. It's like if ain't nothing wrong with you, then I don't got time for you because I'm a fixer. Virgos, you are fixers. And you do, it sounds very weird, but Virgos are this way. Okay? That's not living life. Okay? Leave work at work. Take the phone calls. Don't be so shocked if somebody called just to see how you doing. Okay? Let them see how you doing. Speak up. Don't let the stuff pile up and go through that stuff alone and like bury it so you can show up for other people who need you. Don't do that because y'all tend to overdo it. Y'all overdo the problem solving to where sometimes you end up handicapping people to where they feel like they can't do stuff on their own without you. That's not okay. That ends up being that gift and that curse side. That ends up being the curse when that's all that you do. Okay? You also need to let your friends be your friend. You're another sign that need to let your friends be your friends. If you're going through something, let your friends support you. Call them up. And then in return, regardless of whether they just got their finger cut off or not, show up and have an actual relationship, Virgo. Don't do this thing where you disappear forever and then come back. Because that's what? They got a lot to tell you now. And then you end up pushing back the call because you're like, oh, I know they're going to have a lot to tell me. So if I don't have an hour or 2 hours in my schedule, I can't call them. That's how that works for you, Virgo. I know because I have Virgos are very near and dear to my heart, okay? And I can sometimes do the same thing. Ooh, okay. But make sure, push yourself to make time for your friends. Push yourself to make time for them, right? Whether it's I need support or I want to show up and just check in on them, or I'm going to actually answer the question, what's going on with me? Okay? And be truthful and be honest. Okay. Next is Libra. What can I say about Libra? Libra, two-faced. Y'all two-faced. Okay, so people pleasers. All right. People pleasing Libras can make you two-faced. Y'all don't pick a side enough. Okay? That's the main thing I want y'all to work on. Y'all don't pick a side enough. And you're more concerned with how things look than being supportive to your ride or dies, okay? To the ones who have been supportive to you. You're more concerned with everybody liking you than you are the people who love you unconditionally. Okay? You got to pick a side and stop being so indecisive. That makes you a horrible friend. You trying to be friends with everybody, you friends with no one, for real, because if somebody else come that you feel like you got to win over, your other friends is left in the dust. And that's not being a friend at all. You're going to find yourself constantly in this cycle of recycling friends just because you feel like you need to be liked by everybody. That's not living. That's no fun. It's okay to be disliked. It is. It's okay to disagree with somebody, right? It's okay to pick a side and stand on it. Not just when it affects you, but also when it affects your family and your friends. Pick a side. Leave the mediating to the Gemini. But you, okay? You, be fair to yourself, okay? Be fair to yourself. And if you're fair to yourself, you can be fair to other people. But also, it's okay to be disliked. All right? Scorpio, y'all can be very, very needy in a friendship. Very, very needy. For some reason, you do not always feel confident on doing things on your own. Some things you're gonna just have to do it by yourself. Okay? It's not for you to be threatening people just to make them do what you want them to do. All right? Also, if somebody's already proven themselves to you by showing up for you, before you judge them and get suspicious of them, which can happen for Scorpios the very next day, with anybody that they love, doesn't matter. They can trust you and distrust you the next day, okay? It's because they don't trust themselves. All right? Trust yourself to be okay and to make your own decisions. And if it fails, it fails. You still living at the end of the day. But trust yourself more so that you can trust others, Scorpio. Scorpios, I think my only problem with y'all is the neediness to control, and the drama. Y'all do keep up drama, okay? I'm not even gonna front. Y'all listen. If it's not your drama, you're good. But you tend to be that one that will invite drama to the house. Like if for instance, I've been in situations with Scorpios to where I say, okay, I cut this person off because they did this, and this. They done seen the person do this, and this. And they also are the ones that alerted me of the person and what they did, this, and this. And then they want me to be in the same room with the person. No, that's not okay. All right? That's not okay. If I say I'm not fooling with this person because of what they've done. This is my boundary. I don't need for Scorpios to put me in situations to where I still got to see this person and be around this person after I just told you. And for some reason, the uncomfortability of other people excites you all. Okay? I don't know if it's whether you want people to overcome their fears or you just like, make your haters jealous of you, whatever the case may be. Y'all, a lot of y'all have that mentality that can be sometimes self-serving and it doesn't help the person that you're saying that you support, right? It doesn't. So your need to make people feel uncomfortable that don't like you, it's not going to be serving for other people. It just isn't, and it's unfair. So you're very good at setting up boundaries. If you're very good at setting up boundaries, I need you to respect and champion the people who set up those boundaries for themselves. Okay? And respect it. Respect it. But yes, just about every situation that I've been in where I done cut somebody off, it's always a Scorpio trying to get me back in that situation. Back, not necessarily me forgiving the person, but back around that person. And sometimes it needs to be cut off, like completely. All energy. I don't want you to have no parts of me. Okay? All right. Next, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, I need you to not just look out for yourself, okay? You are your worst critic. And also, you can be, like I said, because of the spirit must be paid. You can come off as very selfish as well. And not stand up for people, right? Like, Sagittarius, y'all got this era about you like, it's as long as I'm good, well, shoot, they ain't do nothing to me. So, and they could come off very disloyal. And yeah, it's good for people to learn to put themselves first. But, too much of anything turns into a bad thing, whether it's good or bad. Okay? And sometimes y'all could do that too much to where your loved one is looking for you to stand with them. Like, say if somebody, a friend of yours, robbed another friend, right? Or a family member of yours. And you're like, well, they ain't robbed me, so I'm going to still be friends with them. That's not okay. That's not cool, Sagittarius. It isn't. All right? So that is, I think, one of the main things when it comes to Sagittarius. And then if you're uninterested, also, you can have that tendency to like, oh, the energy ain't high enough for me, so I'm going to leave. No, sometimes your friends need you to stay a little longer and help them out, okay? Y'all can be too selfish, too selfish. All right? And it has to be some compromise. It has to be some level of give and take, like an even level of give and take when it comes to your relationships, in order for you to not fully like drain the person, or for that person to feel like you're loyal, or for that person to feel supported by you, right? Don't just give it all to your mama like the Geminis do. Okay? Show up for people. Stick up for people. Right? Yeah, you can say, oh, well, I'm standing up for me. That's great. And you teach people how to do that. But also, sometimes people need support. And it's okay to do that. All right? Okay. Capricorn. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Capricorn. Oftentimes, y'all could put money over friendships, over relationships. You can, and you can overwork yourself. Not only that, you are more worried about your reputation than anything, so you can come off as judgmental because you're judging yourself. and you can be this by the book, sometimes too much by the book, to where you cut yourself off from going after bigger dreams, right? And you can often stifle your friendships based off of this need to look right in society versus follow your heart, right? And discover what you're passionate about and what your purpose is. You can feel the need to put money over everything, and money is not everything, okay? You can also feel the need to control people with money. Yeah, I see y'all do it all the time. Just because you've paid for something doesn't mean that you now control that person. That's not being a friend, all right? You also need to show up. You also are uncomfortable when it comes to other people's emotions. Being a friend doesn't just require, oh, let me buy you something for your birthday, or let's take a trip, or whatever the case may be. It also requires for you to be there and be supportive. And sometimes they do need that space of no judgment. Okay? And just because you're not brave enough to go against the norm doesn't mean that you downplay your friend, or your friend is not a good friend just because they're not living up to your particular societal standard. Not the standard of, okay, you need to want something for yourself, right? Everybody needs to want something for themselves, right? But they may say, hey, I want to design toothpaste. Let them design toothpaste. They don't have to become, you'll be like, well, you should be a doctor. No. If they want to design toothpaste as to how it looks, and support your friend. As long as they're reaching for something, support them. It does not have to be to your standard. And Capricorns, you can also do that whole staple thing that we were talking about in the previous episode, where, oh, my friend's a loser because they didn't graduate from Harvard, or my friend's a loser because they play football but it's only semi-pro and they're not playing in the NFL. That's not okay. All right? The judgments you place onto yourself is what are the judgments that you'll place onto other people. And as long as that person can support themselves and they're happy with themselves, be their friend and support them too. Okay? And again, you cannot just buy friendships. Buy loyalty. You will run out of money. And your biggest fear is running out of money. I'm going to tell you, stop doing that or you will run out of money. Okay, Capricorn? Okay. Aquarius. Oh my goodness. Y'all definitely give Casper the Friendly Ghost a run for his money. Because, listen, y'all can be good friends when people can get a hold of you. But when they cannot, it's very, very difficult to connect. You have a spirit that is driven, that is high energy when you need to get certain tasks done, like work, or if someone in your family is in need. But when it comes to friendship, the emotional unavailability can be quite discouraging when it comes to your friendships and you actually being there and being present for them. And what I've realized is that the emotionally unavailable will always reach for the emotionally unavailable. So you tend to find interest in people that you're trying to help. You tend to find interest in people who really don't give you the space to be yourself and to express yourself. They usually take up the space and you will back all the way up. You also dumb yourself down just to fit in, and to not be a threat. Like, you'll never know If you have an Aquarius in your life, you'll never know just how smart they are. But they're very, very intelligent. And if they hurt your feelings, if they hurt your feelings because they're so empathetic, trust and believe they meant to do it. They think. They're very calculated. They think before they speak. Okay? All Aquariuses are. It's true. Right? But it does take a lot to get them angry. So sometimes they may feel as though they need to cover up how they are feeling. So a lot of people can get the impression that they're strong and life is perfect for them because they have a hard time sharing what is really going on. And then when they do get the nerve to be like, listen, I have feelings, people are like, yeah, right. It's hard to believe them because they can be so emotionally detached, empathetic, but also emotionally detached, and just ready to stand in the background and let other people take up space. And when you do that, when you're constantly doing that, you will not have anything left for your loved ones, your best friends, the ones who actually care about you, even the ones that don't really need anything from you but for you to be there, right? You tend to have a lot of needy people around you. Very, very needy, and they have to be like calling you 24/7 for you to make sure you check in. And because those few people take up so much, you don't have space for the ones that are just calling you to see how you're doing. You don't, right? So that is definitely something that you can work on. Go to therapy and find that safe space for you to express yourself, okay? When it comes to your emotions, you too deserve to speak up about it. Because if you don't, it does have a negative effect on the people who are really, really trying to reciprocate the support that you give other people. So be emotionally present. Learn how to be emotionally intelligent. Don't look at it as weakness because you guys end up snapping on people anyways out of nowhere and nobody knows what happened because you have been letting them take up the space and you haven't claimed your space, okay? Aquarius. Last but not least, we have the Pisces. Pisces, when somebody tells you who they are, you need to believe them and you need to stop sacrificing yourself. I'm holding my face because I'm a Pisces. But you need to stop sacrificing yourself, okay, in order to change that person. You will die from it. Like emotionally, spiritually, you will. It will kill you. It will eat away at your soul. And then you can also end up over promising things to people that you can't live up to that promise. If you actually sit there and think about it, like slow down and think about it, you end up over promising things to people that you just, it's not cool. Like it doesn't look like your word is your bond. It doesn't when you over promise. So show up for people, but also have boundaries. Okay? If you know, don't sit there and overextend yourself to somebody and just expect them to overextend themselves. No, the first problem is you overextended yourself. Okay? That's the first issue. Don't do that. If you know this is beyond your limit and you're going to end up losing in the end, like, oh, this is my last dollar. Oh, I'm running out of gas. I might get stuck on the road. Oh, whatever it is. Let me put my name. Let me co-sign for this because this person really needs it, even though they haven't shown me that they're going to actually care and keep up with this. Stop it, because that's your fault. It's not the other person's fault. Okay? Don't do that. That's not being truthful. That makes you a liar. That makes you a manipulator. It makes you deceitful. When you overextend yourself to people and then expect it in return and then get upset when they don't return the favor, okay? You can't. the first thing to do is learn how to set your own boundaries and realize your own limitations. And if somebody is showing you, hey, you may be the type of person that'll show up 3:00 in the morning if I need you, but I'm not, believe them and don't try to change them, and you stop doing it. Okay? All right. That's how to be a better friend, okay? For all the signs. Every last one of you. All right. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If I made you upset, maybe it's for the best, okay? Look at the glass as half full. Work on it. And remember, I said that you may have certain placements, some of these placements in your chart. That means you might have some of those characteristics when it comes to your friendships, okay? And how you're coming across, and you may be unaware of how you're coming across, all right? Be better friends in general. You know what you need to do, okay? All right. Thank you guys for listening. Give yourself permission to live and be a great friend to yourself and then everyone else.
The Live and Be Great podcast will be airing every other Friday. If you have truly enjoyed this podcast, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving Live and Be Great a chance. Please feel free to share, like, give a review, subscribe on whichever platform that you're listening to right now, on iTunes or Apple Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, as well as Google Play. The Live and Be Great podcast is strictly crowdfunded, so if you are interested in becoming a supporter, you can click the link in the description, or you can go to liveandbegreat.com and scroll to the bottom and donate to the Live and Be Great podcast today, so I can continue to give you good and motivational content. Thank you all for listening, and don't forget to give yourself permission to live and be great.